Right, anyway, let's join us now as German football expert, Raf Honigstein. Raf, a very good morning.
Raf, good morning. How are you, my friend?
Good morning. How are you guys?
So, Raf, let's start with Bayern straight away, because Tuchel was saying first leg we played all right, the scoreline's all wrong, and we can still do this. And of course, City march on into the semi-final against Real Madrid. There's a problem in Mane at Bayern. What's happening to Bayern at the moment?
Well, that's going to take a long time to explain all the problems. I think on the night and over the two legs, the main difference was that Bayern didn't take their chances and City did. And of course, having Erling Haaland and not having Robert Lewandowski, ultimately, in Bayern's view, swung the tide. They created enough chances over two legs to at least have a decent opportunity of going through. And now they have a result that reflects their lack of finishing and City's ruthlessness and efficiency, the kind of stuff that Bayern pride themselves on. And because they wanted Erling Haaland, of course, to follow Lewandowski, they showed him around the club, they tried really hard, and they saw him playing for the opposition over those two legs. I think that lack of an elite goal scorer was really brought into sharp relief for them.
I think you're right, Raf. I looked at the game, and you're correct to mention definitely that Bayern had a lot of opportunities, particularly in the first game, I thought. However, Upamecano, he just seemed to have a bit of a disaster over the two games, didn't he?
He did. He slipped, of course, in the second leg, and that was the decisive moment with Erling Haaland scoring. You could see the belief just leaving the Allianz Arena. The balloon was bust at that point. And it's not his first mistake. He made a mistake in the first leg. He's got one or two howlers under his belt, but the problem is you also gain a lot by playing him, and it was hard to leave him out because without his pace, I think Pavard and let's say De Ligt together, I don't think they would have been able to control Haaland as well during the game as they were. So not ideal. He's still young. They hope that he can sort things out, but they also quite interestingly pointed at the pitch. And one of the things Bayern have done is sign a new greenkeeper because they've had too many players slipping at very bad moments, and that was another occasion.
Well, Raf, what about? Tell me a little bit about Nagelsmann. So he's gone, and the big rumour is he's coming to the Premier. How good is he, Raf, in your opinion?
In my opinion, he's a top manager.
Yeah,
he's still only 35, so you'd expect him to have not extensive experience when it comes to dealing with big egos and a difficult dressing room. I think that ultimately was one of the problems that he found at Bayern. And this is something that Bayern hoped he could grow into. And they tried to help him and they tried to provide him with support. But I think ultimately he was perhaps a little bit too young at that point for this particular dressing room and for Bayern. I think in terms of his technical ability, the way he coaches, his ideas, the way he sees the game, I think he is not far below the real elite. But he needs to still improve a little bit as far as the man management is concerned. And with Bayern, it's a very unforgiving place. And the attention and the kind of pressure that comes with being the coach of Bayern, which is not just being a football coach, but almost kind of being a political person in Bavaria, in Germany, being the face of the biggest footballing institution. I think perhaps 2-3 years down the line in his career, he would have been in a better position. But I've got no doubt that he will walk into a fantastic new job and that he will be successful and maybe one day return to Bayern because he is an outstanding coaching talent.
So, Raf, just finally, how do you see the final Champions League? Who's going to make the final?
I think it's very difficult to bet against Man City the way that they're playing at the moment. They can control games, and even if they don't control them, they find ways of winning thanks to Erling Haaland. I think that's a very good combination to have. And as you said, I think whoever wins the semi-final against Real Madrid is going to win ultimately, regardless of who's going to come through from the two clubs from Milan. So I heavily back Man City. I think it's really theirs to lose this year.
Raf, always a pleasure. Thank you. Danke schön. Very interesting. Lovely.
talkSPORT Breakfast with Alan Brazil. Thursday and Friday morning, 6 till 10. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.